وتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعض حدودك وخالفت بعض أوامرك فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي في قضاؤك والزمني حكمك وبلاؤك فقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مغرا مذعنا مؤترفا لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة رحمتك اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شد وضاقي يا رب ارحم زأف بدني ورقة جلدي ودقة عظمي يا من بدا خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي أبني لابتداء كرمك وسالف برك بي يا إلهي وسيدي وربي أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعدما انطوى علي قلبي من معرفتك وليج بي لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خوفا لربوبيتك هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تزيا من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من أوبيت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمت وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدة وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك مادحا وعلى قلوب ائتلفت بإلهيتك محققة وعلى ضمائر حبت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنة ما كذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك يا كريم يا رب وأنت تعلم زافي القليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها على أن ذلك بلاء ومكروه قليل المكفو يسير بغو قصير مدته فكيف احتمالي لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض يا سيدي فكيف لي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي لأي الأمور إليك أشكو ولما منه أزج وأبكي لأليم العذاب وشدته أم لطول البلاء ومدته فلئن سيرتني للعقوبات مع أعدائك وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك فحبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي صبرت على عذابك فكيف أصبر على فراقك فحبني صبرت على حر نارك فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا لئن تركتني ناطقا لأزجن إليك بين أهلها زجيج الآملين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد المسلم سجن فيها من مخالفته، فذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وهبس بين أسماقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يزج إليك زجيج مؤمل لرحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك يا مولاي، فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك ورأفتك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف تؤلم النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يورق لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل علي زفيرها؟ أم كيف يشتمل علي زفيرها وأنت تعلم زأفا؟ أم كيف يتغلغل بين أسواقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تزجر زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا رب؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في يسقي منها وتتركه فيها؟ هيهات ما ذلك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشمول لما عملت بالموحدين من برك وإحسانك، فباليقين أخطأوا لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحدك وقضيت به من إخلاد معاندك. لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما، وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما، لكنك تقدست أسماؤك، أقسمت أن تملا من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين، وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين، وأن تجل ثناؤك قلت مبتدا وتتولت بالإنعام متكرما، أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون. إلهي وسيدي وأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وقلبت من علي أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبته وكل قبي أسررت وكل جهل عملت كتمت وأعلنت أخفيت أو أظهرت وكل سيئات أمرت باسمائها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جواري، وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائي والشاهد لما خفي عنهم، وبرحمتك أخفيت وفضلك سترت، وأن توفر عزي من كل خير أنزلت أو إحسان فضلت أو بر نشرت أو رزق بطأت أو ذنب تغفره أو خطأ تستره. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي مالك رقي، يا من بيدي ناصيتي، يا عليما بالضر ومسكنتي، يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي. يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب، أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك مأمورة وبخدمتك موصولة وأعمالي عندك مقبولة حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها بردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من علي معولي يا من إلي شكوت أحوالي يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب قف على خدمتك جواره واشدد على العظيمة جوانه وحبلي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في البارزين واشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين اللهم من أرادني بسوء فارد ومن كادني فكد واجعل لي من أحسن عبيدك نسيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخسهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك وعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك ليجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وأغلني أثرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك غفيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وزمنت لهم الإجابة فإليك يا ربي نسبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي وبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني مناي ولا تحت من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس مال الرجاء وسلاه البكاء يا سابق النهم يا دافع النغم يا نور المستوحشين في الظلم يا عالما لا يؤلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. سلامتی آقام زمان او المرحومین رحم الله من غرفات هم الصلوات.
AV team, if I can just get the slide. Tonight's program is sponsored by Bande Khuda for the Isalat Hub of Pareen Lakhani, Pirbai. And please recite Surah Fatiha for the following marhumin. Marhuma Amina Ismail Qasim, who passed away in Leicester, UK. Marhuma was the sister of Sister Munira Jafar and aunt of Sister Zahira Jafar of Vancouver. Marhuma Taslim Abdullah, who was the niece of Brother Muhammad Nolakia of Vancouver. It's Marhum's first death anniversary. All the Marhumin in the Nolakia family and Nasheen family. Fatiha.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم وهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب وبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثار وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلية إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلك منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند مهزرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم ير الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقا قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحيي الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون اللهم صل على محمد سورة المباركة الفاتحة
We will now take a 10-minute break for Tabarruk, and then we've got a guest speaker afterwards. And so if we can just, yeah, we'll talk then. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. If I can have a loud salawat and we can bring the next part of our session. Ma salli ala Muhammad wa al Muhammad. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Brother Jabir Walji. Brother Jabir is a globally recognized strategy and innovation expert, one of only a few Matriz Level 3 certified practitioners worldwide. With over 20 years experience advising blue chip corporations and governments, he now focuses his expertise on 21st century science of TRIZ and systematic innovation to solve community challenges. His work demonstrates how these powerful problem-solving frameworks can help build a stronger, more caring, and morally evolved community, firmly grounded in Islamic principles. Can we have one loud salawat for Brother Jabir?
Hello, can you hear me at the back? Yeah, assalamu alaikum everyone. It's a great pleasure to give this presentation over here, and I'll just tell you this is going to be the world's first, or maybe the galaxy's first, in a presentation that links innovation with faith. Thanks to the organizers over here to give me this opportunity to present as well. You know, Aladina and everybody else, I don't know everyone, so I think any more to say, I'll start with this thing. So as you see, the title is Islamic Value Community Development with a Revolutionary Approach via TRIZ, which is Theory of Inventive Problem Solving and Systematic. This is the 21st century science. TRIZ came out of Russia because our Qibla of knowledge is the West, so not many people know about it, okay? Important thing about this is that China has trained 20 million people in this methodology. South Korea, economic pillar, one of the pillar was TRIZ and systematic innovation, but unfortunately in the Muslim world we don't know about it at all. So you will see how powerful this the tool is. Okay, these are the companies we have worked with over the last 20 years or 25 years all over the globe, and we've helped them develop products and services, solve the problems, increase revenue, etc. This new science has come out from the study of 11 million patents, plus review of other knowledge like psychology, business, and other kind of stuff. That's given us a database that says that all innovation, be it technical, non-technical, or business, comes out of 14 inventive principles. That's it. Okay. When I filter this down even further, I get so these are the 14 inventive principles. All right. If I filter this even further, I get the 7 pillars or 7 first principles of innovation. We're going to look a couple of them and how it is linked to our religion and all that. The first one is ideality. Okay. It is the strategic direction. It gives you the North Star. All right. When it comes to strategy, we would spend 80% of our time charting out our vision, our North Star, and a strategic plan. The rest of 20% of strategy, writing, and all that, and that is, not there. This is the most important thing. Nike's vision or the North Star is that they want to make shoes that are going to be feather thin and 0 weight. That's a North Star. Okay? That is not achievable now. It may not be achievable in 20 years, but it will be. Graphene is coming up, which is a carbon, 1 molecular thick, as thin as feather, as strong as steel. So this is what drives them, and they've got a research department that will push them towards that. So that's the kind of North Star we look at. Second thing is, if you look at this formula, that's value added is benefit divided by cost and harm. If the cost goes down, benefit increases, value add increases. If my cost goes to 0, I've got infinite benefit, infinite value added. Okay? What the customer wants is cheaper, better, faster. 0 cost, better, faster, on demand. When I take cheaper, better, faster to the nth level, it becomes free, perfect, now. Okay? That is your Google business model, premium service. 0 cost, we don't pay for Google. Okay? Now this model was given to us by Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, 1,400 years ago. Right? And we are not even using it. So you see how I'm abstracting new knowledge out of this thing? That's the key thing. The other thing you'll come to notice is we all have this knowledge which I'm going to talk, which is in your left brain. But what I'm going to do is using the frameworks to trigger the right brain to bring that knowledge out and give it to you. So at the moment, left and right are working together. Your creativity comes from the right brain. Okay? Now, if I read this formula, it comes benefit to the Ummah, with zero cost to the Ummah, with zero harm to the Ummah. I would not be surprised that the word harm comes from the word haram. Okay? This is our Islamic formula. This is our God's. The whole of Islam is in this formula. That is what God says. Benefit your humanity. Okay? God is also telling you to innovate. This is an innovation formula. God is telling you to innovate. He's saying, take care of your ummah. Apni ummah ki parwah karo. That is the key thing. Right? What we have done over here, we have abstracted new knowledge out of this thing. So this framework helps you to abstract new knowledge. And then you can see things from different perspectives. What am I doing? I'm changing your perspectives by using words. That's it. Nothing else. And the biggest innovation man ever did was invent language. That is why I'm able to talk to you. Okay? This is the care business model. I've been to many places in our Jamaat and all that. We want to adapt best practice. We want to become world class and all that. To me, when anybody says best practice or world class, that is copy paste. Somebody else has done it. Okay, that's good. Let's do it. No, I want to see beyond world class. I want to see beyond best practice. And the examples are here. Shaukat Khanam Cancer Hospital is the only hospital in the world that gives free cancer treatment. This is in the third world. That is beyond world class. Right? JDC, 100% free treatment. Beyond world class. SIUT, beyond world class. That is what Islam says. Benefit at zero cost, zero harm. To bring zero harm, that is a different subject, but they have achieved that zero cost. To eliminate harm, you have to go into research. That's a different thing. This is care economy. Now we have community hospitals all over the world. They are for profit, right? In Pakistan, Tanzania, Kenya. Now let's understand why is it for profit quickly. This is a framework. This is a Welsh Sinfin, right? The things go from simple to complicated to complex to chaos. Now, our heritage has always been trading. Our forefathers were traders, right? So what has happened is, hence we went for profit business model. That's simple. When you go for freemium model, business model, that's complex. A person comes, charge him, give him the service. That's easy, that's simple, that's done. For donkeys of years, right? We have to master complexity. World is complex, getting more complex than what our forefathers lived in. Now what's going to happen if you don't do that, before 2075, we will have to provide freemium and reward business model. It is coming. The reason for that is AI. Jobs are going to be lost, and old age, aging population. What are you going to do? What is your next thing? You always have to think the next night. When we helped Gillette develop the 2 blades, before even launching it, we had already innovated 3 blades, 4 blades, 5 blades. Why? Because if a competitor comes and puts a 2 blades, straight away we throw a 3 blades. If they come with 3 blades, we throw 4 blades. So what is our business strategy if this model fails? Okay. Now this is a very important side. This is first principle of thinking. There are 8 levels of thinking here. Okay. Last one is holistic, which is theory of everything, which is a Islamic Prophet Muhammad thinking, Allah-based thinking. Islam is theory of everything. It tells you how to live, it tells you how to do your business, it tells you how to run your bank account without interest and all that. It is the theory of everything. Okay? The importance of this thing is in marriage counseling. Okay? When they come to counseling, I don't know, one of my partners is at this level of thinking, the other one is over here. How are they going to communicate? If I'm at communication and communitarian, I can communicate. But if somebody is here and somebody is there, you can't communicate. So you got to know the thinking of your partners. Whoever the counselors are, they have to know this. You have to go to the rule, base levels. What is our strategy to move our community to level 6 and level 7, which is close to Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, his thinking and Ahlul Bayt's thinking? Do we have that? Are we aware of that? No. Okay? The reason the world is in such fractured, because the world is in thinking from 2 to 5. That is 95% of the world is thinking like that. That's why we got issues in the world. You have to move down there. That's the value chain of thinking. And the other one is madrasa, right? The course in madrasa depends where your thinking is. As you go down or up the value chain of thinking, your emotional quotient increases. EQ is far important now and will be far more important than IQ going into the future. Right? Automatically, when you go down this road, your EQ improves. If you have EQ courses and which is on this level, yeah, you're going to give him an EQ course, right? How to be emotionally intelligent and mature and all that. The guy is not going to get it. Yeah, at that time he'll be there, but he'll revert back to his tribal thinking or feudal thinking. You got to know, the person who are coming in, what their thinking is, before you can give them advice and consultation. Talked about Jamaat recruitment. Okay? These people here are team players. These are not. This is tribal thinking. That is terrible twos. A 2-year-old, he wants this thing and all that. He doesn't know how and he'll cry. That's terrible too. I want my way. Right? Scientific thing is keeping up with the Jones. He's got a big car. I want a big car. He's got a big house. I want a big house. I don't want those kind of people in my team. I want somebody like this. It takes 25 years to get to this level. If I find somebody with this team player thinking, I don't mind he doesn't have skills. I can send him for training. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. But I can't bring him this kind of thinking. It takes years. Okay? Okay. So, once you know this, we can validate Prophet Muhammad, peace be on him, and Ahlul Bayt's thinking. We got so much narrative of these people, right? We have got software engineer, AI machines now. You can put that narrative and it'll tell you this is their thinking. I want to know Prophet Muhammad's thinking. I want to know the Ahlul Bayt's thinking, so I can aspire to that, right? And I said, that's my vision. That's how I want to become. That is what's needed for the young generation. So I'm connecting the stories from our history of religion to modern time. That's the link that is needed. Right? I mean, I'll be interested like anything if we do that kind of an analysis. Then what happens is once you've done that, you can find out the personalities. Now this is generational cycle, right? This generational cycle was tested in India and China. It all came out like this thing. I'm not going to go into what are these personality type nomads and all that. I haven't got the time, right? But because we got so much narratives of our prophets and imams and Islamic historical figures, that we can put it in the machine and they'll tell, okay, what kind of a personality they are. I want to know that, so I can say, okay, I want to be that. Right? That personality. Once I know one personality, I can go 4 generations back. Let's say if I know Hazrat Ali's personality, I can find out what his father, what was his name? Abu Talib personality is. Then I can know what his grandfather's personality through this thing. That's the kind of depth we have to go. These kind of questions is not if they're going to come from our youngsters, but it's only a matter of when. 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, as they get exposed to this kind of thinking, these questions will come. Do we have the answers for that? These are the kind of things we have to think about as we go in the future. Okay, first principle thinking. We are now moving back to tech feudalism because they got the money, they got the power, they got everything. They're saying this is how we're going to do. This is where your institution, the tax people say, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Majority of the world is here at the customer level, right? Customer is king. However, Norway is at the citizen level. Norway has got the biggest sovereign fund that any citizen of theirs doesn't want to work, he doesn't have to work. They provide him everything. So that person goes to becoming whatever he wants to be. He's living the life of being. I want to be this, so I can be. Hence, some of the best music in the West is now coming out of Norway because that freedom has been given. What is our 50 years? It took them 50 years. What is our 50-year strategy? What is our North Pole? Right? These are strategic questions that our community have to ask. And as I told, it's going to come on us. Premium service we'll have to provide because of job losses and aging population. It's down the road. Okay, customer expectation things. Things go from commodity to product to service to experience to transformation, care. We talked about care economy, right? I think we are here providing service. What does the customer want? He wants transformation. When somebody comes to a marriage counselor, what is he saying? Now I'm abstracting the voice of the customer from there. What they are saying is, I want my marriage to be transformed. I don't know how. When somebody's got, overweight and goes and died, what is it saying? He says, I want to transform my health. This kind of things that we are talking about, this is transformational thinking. The youth needs this. They don't even know that they need it. This is going to help them in the future. The future, one of the key jobs is creativity. These are the kind they have to be exposed to so they can compete in the open world. They're all coming out of the same education system, same degree, same. What is the USP? What is something special? Nothing. How are you going to make them special or give them something special? This is it. Okay, North Star. This is the S-curves, we call them. So my target is here. I can't reach this target, so either I bring the target down or I change and go up. I innovate and go up till I reach my North Star. Okay? Example. You had paper maps, you had Google Maps, you got GPS, you're going to have self-driving car. You see the progression? My dad used to read books. I used to read comics and then cartoons. My son is watching Marvel on big screen. My grandkids would be Metaverse, and his children will be into Star Trek holiday. What do you call it? Holodeck. So you can see the progression, right? The thing is, all this, the weak signs are there. We don't know. You have to catch that. And then they go on the growth curve. This is for IT, how you progress. S-curve for religion. What is the ideal religion? Islam, right? Okay. First Judaism, then Christianity, then Islam. Even God innovated. He could have brought Islam anytime. It was not the right time. 124,000 prophets came till the ideal prophet came, which was Prophet Muhammad. God innovated. Right? Nahjul Balagha, Hazrat Ali, he says, it's through the strength of God's greatness and his subtle power of innovation. Even he is talking about innovation. I've never heard in my 60 years in any majlis talking about innovation. Why? He innovated the 7 atmospheric of the earth. Okay, the most important thing in innovation is solving contradictions. Conflict is something else, contradiction is different. I'll tell you that. I won't talk on conflict. The ideal bicycle seat is something like a bottom of a chair on which it is broad, it's comfortable. But if I have something like that, I cannot pedal. So they couldn't solve that problem. So they had a seat like that, broad at the front, at the back, and narrow in the front. I apply innovation, I solve the problem. I've got a broad seat and I can pedal. Right? I've given the customer both. So you go to the good. When you improve one, the other one goes bad. Trish says, no, you come down here. Okay? So care. I care to give the customer both parameter A and parameter B. Care is ideality. This applies to marriage, before and after. When a girl gets married, the contradiction she has that she has to meet the expectation of her original family and the expectation of a new family. They are not even aware that that's a contradiction. Once you become aware there's a contradiction, there are tools to solve it. These are the kind of knowledge you have to give them before marriage and show them how to resolve issues. And even in counseling. We have behavior contradiction, right? I start an action X, but I default to Y. I'm not going to go through this one, complex habit, work out daily at 6 p.m. The contradiction, and I get fatigue versus energy, schedule versus consistent, motivation and versus excuses. These are all contradictions. What I'm trying to emphasize that everything is a contradiction. Now, because I wanted to solve this contradiction, I can't go to the gym. So I use principle number 1, which is segmentation. So I break my exercise down. I make it micro. I wear these weights. I walk with these weights 24/7 for 3 months. My stomach went in, my back became okay. I solved my back problem, which I had for 40 years. Right? Using principle number 1, segmentation. So I make my exercise micro. So once you understand that, then you can apply and come with solutions. Okay? Environmental system contradiction. Example is, I'm doing dieting to lose weight, but the surrounding system does not support and reinforce my habit. I come to the mosque, I get fried samosas. Okay? I go home, I get chawal and roti, carbs. So the system is not supporting me to change my behavior. So what happens is, you do not rise to the level of your goal, but you fall to the level of your system. Okay? That's what happens. So either you bring the goal down or you change the system. Right? So if I want to diet, I want to change my weight, I want to transform my body, I come to the mosque, I cannot. Okay, then we can sit down and work out how to do it, how to satisfy the person who wants to diet and the person who doesn't want to diet. There are ways. That's where creativity comes in. That's where the 40 principles comes in. Ethical contradictions, right? I'm not going to go through this thing. It's a systematic process to identify and resolve ethical conflict, achieving win-win solution without moral trade-offs. Example, Islamic example. Contradiction. The Muslim wanted to perform Ummah, but the Qurayshi did not allow the Muslim to enter Makkah, fearing loss of faith. Compromise would have been, you can enter, but whenever there's a but and and, there's a contradiction. But without praying, or you can pray, but not this year. So Rasulullah said, okay, fine, we'll come back next year. Okay? His Sahabas didn't accept that. Okay? They did that, they got a 10-year truce and everything was solved. The outcome, clear principle-based victory and transformation, transform the situation. What did Rasulullah do? He used the algorithm, separation of time. These are formulas of solving contradictions. Right? It proves that the revolutionary approach of TRIZ and systematic innovation has deep roots in Islamic wisdom and leadership. There you are. They were solving contradictions by using these formulas. That's the kind of knowledge I want. That's the kind of knowledge I want to abstract. That's the kind of tools and framework I want to use to abstract this new information, new knowledge, new wisdom from the story. That's the story. What happened? Okay, these are the 40 principles you can use. So I want to improve the parameters, and these parameters go back. There's 50 by 50. So in the world, there are only 2,500 problems. That's it. And the way you solve it is with these 40 principles. That's it. Can be technical, non-technical, business, or whatever. Personal, emotional. I do counseling using this methodology. And the ladies tell me, you are a better counselor than my counselor where I pay $100 an hour. I'm not a counselor. I just use this. I identify what the contradictions are. Then I use the principle. I say, okay, do this, do this. Ah, never thought of that. I'm available for counseling, okay? Okay, so there are many ways of solving a problem, but there are only 40 ways of doing it well. That's it. This is another one, space-time. This is also important. I've shown you here an example of a tree. So you got past, present, future, subsystem, system, supersystem. If you see tree, young, what happens, you can see the whole big picture, all that, okay? I'm not going to go through it. You can check it out later on. Now, let's apply this. 9 window and Hazrat Ali, right? I'm a parent, I'm here, I'm the system, I'm the present. My son is the future. My parents or his grandparents are the past. What does Hazrat say? Do not raise your children the way your parents raised you, because they are born in a different time. I cannot apply these rules or policies or thinking over here. He's not going to achieve his goal. This is a whole system. So you can't achieve your goals. Your goal, you come down to the system. I've known people where the parents stop the child to do X, Y, Z. That's the system. So he can't achieve his goal. He falls down to the system, right? And lives have been ruined. Okay, you take the example of Muslim Youth Helpline in UK. Oh my God, you go on their website and you read the problems the kids have there. Some of them are in suicidal mode. They have to counsel them, right? Why? Because there's a conflict between the parents and the kid. Because they can't understand them, they can't understand them. And these problems were still there when I was there studying in 1980s. I was shocked. I said, nothing has changed. You've got to bring new ways of solving issues. You cannot rely on the old way of doing the thing. It doesn't work. You've got to bring modern ways of thinking. If your thinking doesn't change, nothing changes. Period. Okay, this is an example from Karachi where I am. This is my house here, right? Now see, now this guy made a path here and he threw the rubble here. There was a building, a house made next to my house. So all the, debris, instead of going and throwing it somewhere else, you throw it over here, right? So this guy has extended his thing beyond, this is public property, so he's extended up to here. Now what is that? I've taken the 9 window. So you got, what he's just worried about is his walls, rooms, house, property. He's not worried about the street. He doesn't care about the street. Parwahi nahi hai. Phek do. Until and until you don't bring care, you are not going to move forward. So now you can understand why Pakistan in the past is there, in the present is there, in the future is going to be there. Caring is moral. So you see that? Now the issue we are having global problems and all that, is because of sustainability, because we did not, when the industrial revolution, revolution came with machines and all that, they didn't think about that the carbon dioxide is going to affect the world climate and all that. So we did not care. Care is the essence of Islam. Period. Right? I don't know, when we go into interplanetary, I think we're going to screw up there as well. Right? Taking our history. Okay, moral evolution is the highest form of innovation. Okay, now you understand what it is. Now we talk about morality and Islam and faith. Innovation quality principle is the care is the foundation of innovation and all progress. Care begins with attention to moral and spiritual values shaping quality work. So this is true innovation is moral to solve contradiction, to create win-win outcome that uplifts community moving beyond mere technical and tangible solutions like product and technical advantage. If I take Islamic context, our moral framework is Islam. It forbids for intoxication and it provides zakat. Why? Those were social innovation that Prophet Muhammad brought in. These are innovations. You have technical innovation and this is a non-technical innovation. Right? It is a profound social innovation designed to preserve health, integrity and economic justice. You see the connection now? So much innovation has been there and we are not even aware of it. The path to higher moral evolution, I'm just looking at my time, is through the thinking value system. Morality increases when you come down there. You're going to stay up there, it doesn't. Over here, you got some moral compared to Pakistan because you got laws here. You cannot increase on public property. If the laws were not here, right, then I think probably it would be the same. But the amazing thing is during Rasulullah, peace be on him, during his time there were no laws. He created the laws and implemented. This is how we're going to be. He took the responsibility as an individual when he was spreading Islam. That is what we got to do. That's moral. So we progress upward through experience, that is pain, sacrifice and doubt. Pain is solving contradictions. The goal is to reach holaki win-win, which is this one. The stepping stone to holistic. When we solve a problem at level 6, we don't just create better solution, we become a better person. So when you do a win-win, you become a better person. That is ibadat. Islamic parallel. Prophet Muhammad, Medina, peace be on him, Medina Charter integrated Jewish, pagan and Muslim tribes at level 8 social innovation, achieving social cohesion through spiritual inclusivity. If he was a tribal thinker, he would have just looked at Muslim tribes. He wouldn't have looked at pagans and Jews. You have to look at all the citizens. You cannot say, I'm just going to look at Koja community at all. Right? You can see it, number 8, innovation, that thinking. His thinking is here to the highest level. This is an example of a community hospital in Pakistan. There are many community hospitals. What they do? They build the hospital till the end, so there's no parking space. So the footpath is used as a parking, right? So people walk on the street. Okay? What is it? Win for the employees parking, lose for citizens. Pedestrian walk on the road, unsafe, harm is haram. If somebody dies because of this thing, you are responsible, right? You have to, so that's a contradiction. I want to have, the contradiction is provide employee and employee parking and safe pedestrian. That's the contradiction. They didn't solve this contradiction. It's not a win-win situation. So this is lack of care. Win-win is you employee parking and win for citizens, safe footpath. That demonstrates care and moral growth. That is ibadat. We have to be aware of that. We cannot be okay. Hum sahi hai to theek hai. Kalli walli to other people. Right? So this is tribal thinking. When the community hospital, like the Memon community, build for them and don't care about, that's tribal thinking. We have to get out of that. That's number 3. Number 2, we're still stuck at number 2 thinking. Come on. After all the education Islam and Prophet Muhammad and Ahlul Bayt has given us, we are still at number 2. Please. This is another way of looking at the thing. It's the same thing. Okay, conclusion slide. Allah doesn't change people's condition until they change themselves. What changes? Innovation changes. Social innovation, technical innovation, non-technical, that brings the change. All right? Final message, upgrading our moral thinking isn't optional. It is innovation that changes everything. It's not an option to be moral. It is. Innovation transcends technology advancement when it catalyzes moral evolution. When you have moral evolution, that is authentic innovation. So you got product innovation, you got service innovation, you got moral growth. That is full. You do things like what in Pakistan, doesn't matter if you go the high tech or it is not. Moral evolution isn't incidental to innovation, it is the innovation that is epic. If innovation fails to improve collective well-being, it lacks moral growth regardless of technical sophistication. We need moral growth. We want to become better human. The only way you can become better human is by morality. Nothing else. All right? Innovation as spiritual duty. The true innovation is tawhidic, right? Uniting material solution with divine morality. Okay, what that means is that was what Imam Khomeini did. He put a fatwa not to make an atom bomb, right? If he had made an atom bomb, yes, materially he would have gained, but morally he wouldn't have gained. So he said no. You see, that is an Islamic principle in action in modern day. Science is incapable of forming character. You can send them to university, they'll get knowledge, but they won't get character. Care does. Right? Learning from higher value societies helps cultivate character and elevate moral standards. Example, Japan, harmony. They want to live harmony with everyone. Norway, citizen focus. I talked about that. Netherlands, circular economy. Finland, inclusive education. These are the places we have to go and learn and experience and ask them how to teach. Somewhere, somebody in the world has solved your problem. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just got to go and ask. Are we doing that? No, we are so inward looking. China has brought 800 million people out of poverty in the last 30 years. Nobody's done that. In my last 40 years, I've been hearing from our community, we want to eradicate poverty. We want to eradicate. Guys, somebody's done it. Go and learn from them, right? 40 साल से आप यही बात कर रहे हो, right? Our population is only 150,000. Those people have brought out 800 million people out. What are you doing sitting here? China has trained 20 million people in this methodology. Our Muslim world doesn't even know about it, right? Funding needs to be directed toward this kind of education. That is where the funding goes. You've got to change this. Change the thinking, everything changes. When you don't do this, yeah, you'll have grandeur things and all that, but your thinking is still at tribal level. Bottom line, the highest form of innovation is becoming better people. Period. Right? Golden true innovation begins with caring, not just about result, but about all people and citizens. Every win-win solution makes you and the society better. That is moral growth. Okay? The greatest innovation isn't an iPhone or a phone, it's human learning to solve problems with care, fairness, and imagination. This is how the world progresses. Okay? Final, true progress happens when we solve problems in a way that helps everyone, because that's how we become better versions of ourselves. Care, that is the bottom line of Islamic value. Help your ummah. We don't understand it. Even in business, we don't understand. There are strategies that you can work together and bring the person who's not good. And that's about Pakistan dairy strategy. Thank you very much. Like, I can take any questions or whatever. Doesn't matter.
Thank you, Brother Jabir, for that excellent presentation. Just speaking for myself, I think I've got a lot of reading to do and a lot of investigation. So thanks for opening our eyes to something new and different.
No problem.
I know we're pushing late in the evening and some people have to go, but if anyone's got any questions, please. If not, we've got Brother Jabir's email on there, and I'm sure he'd...
Yeah, if you like this presentation, I've got one request from you guys is, can you put in a testimonial on my LinkedIn page, right? I would appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Sure, over there.
Yeah, so I think as a community, we have all these old ways of thinking that are so ingrained for generations. Where do we start to make a change? It's how do we do that?
By learning how to think through this methodology.
Yes, but like as a community, like what are the steps? What do we need to do? Like, for example, when our Maulanas come and recite majlises, what can they do to instill this kind of thinking? You know, and any other steps? How do we do that? Even for the thing that you mentioned about the food, the high-fat food and all that.
Yeah.
Something like that. I know when I was the chair lady here, and I was always talking about that, and I wanted to change that, but nothing got done because everyone opposes things like that. So how do you start? How do you do anything? Well, people they said that nobody will come if you don't give the kind of food that people are used to and people expect.
Can you see this?
No, I can't see from here.
Just stand up.
Okay.
Okay. So this is a bell curve,
Oh, yes,
right?
Okay.
Your 100% of your population is here,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
This is every way. Now, any institution you go, they will cater for 94% of the people. Okay?
Okay.
So you got, you know, that's like 2% here. You got 2% here. Okay, or we can say this 96. Now, the aim is you design a system which doesn't just serve these people. You design a system that serves the needs of these people and the needs of these people. Now, the reason I've used the word "and," that means that's a contradiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here are the people who will not eat anything, like me. I don't eat anything fried.
Mm-hmm.
And here are the people who will sort of, you know, I want to eat, but like oven samosas. I want tarelo. Okay? So when you sort of solve this contradiction,
Yes.
provide a system for this and a system for this,
Yes.
you've covered 100% of the population. Okay.
Interesting. Yes.
So
Again.
this will require creativity. You got to meet the needs of these people, or the wants.
You mean the 94%?
94% and the 2% and the 2%. You got to find the need, the fulfill the need of the 100% of the population. And the only way you can do is you take the extreme cases,
Yes.
develop solution for the extreme cases. When you do that, automatically this will be covered.
Okay.
Yeah?
Well, we'll think about that. Yeah. Thank you.
So, okay, I understand that you're going to cater to the extremes, right? But then what if the 96% say we're not coming because there's no tarelo samosa nathi, to hame nathi aata? Then?
No.
Then what?
So you give the tarela, all right?
Oh, you give tarela
Yeah, you
as
give
well.
that,
Okay.
and you give that as well. So it's all part of the system. But then sort of you know you got to like slowly. That's where the education comes in. That's where like a place like this needs to have a kitchen where they teach healthy cooking, right? That's transformational. That we don't do. That has to be part of the community. Okay. Then people want to learn healthy cooking, but they don't know. That's the transformation. They want that. That's transformation, but they don't know that. So these are the kind of programs you bring in, right? If they're not, their kids are going to eat healthy. Like my son, because we brought him up like that, is totally healthy. He's 26. We transformed the whole system for his sake. So this is how you got to do it.
Most of us at home, we practice those things. We are all conscious, the majority of us. We're educated, there's knowledge. But then, on a mosque level, at the Jamaat level, we don't practice that. We come here and we expect loads of rice and all these things, and we expect that. So
You see, that can understood. I mean, that will come like, if we have a workshop and, where I facilitate, we'll bring out these kind of things. And there are tools we'll use. We'll use a perception mapping, right? I'll take your perception, the other person's perception, then I'll bring out the core perception, what it is. Then I'll work on that one. Because the key problem is that it's not what you're saying. I got to understand why these people are saying no. What is so once you bring all that, these are contradictions, right? So there are contradictions. So once you find out the core, what is the actual reason, right? Then you work on that actual reason. Now they say, okay, nati thai saktu or whatever, but yeah, nati thai, I want to understand why. And that comes through a method. They will not tell you, but when I bring in this method, that what they don't want to tell you comes out automatically. They don't even know it's coming out. Right? Then I say, okay, this is the real reason. Yeah, sure.
Thank you. We're switching gears a tiny bit over here, but I was curious when you mentioned that, you quoted China and the work that they've done in alleviating poverty, and it sounded like, was it 40% or something?
What, China?
Yeah.
800 million people in 30 years.
Okay. I'm curious if, I've always heard negative things about their human rights out there. That stands out to me. And when I hear this, it's in my head so contradictory. In some ways, I'm just very curious about anything that you could share, one or two strategies that they've taken on to improve their society from that perspective. And is any of our Jamaats thinking about things like that?
No, I don't know any of the strategies. I know that I can't even remember if I must have read it already. I did some research. Yeah, the Jamaat knows about it because I told them about 5 years ago, but nothing has happened. And they will be happy to help you guys, help our Jamaat, right? And they're already helping Pakistani agricultural students. They're going there learning, right? And they're coming back to Pakistan, learning the way they do agriculture. So it is just that we have to approach them. As we say in innovation, somebody somewhere in the world has already solved your problem. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. That's in social innovation, that's in technical innovation, and non-technical. That's the whole matrix. I showed you that, 50 by 50. That is in that. We call it the illogical matrix. Illogical, right? In that what that matrix tells us is somebody somewhere in the world has solved your problem. You don't have to rethink. You know?
Thank you very much, Brother Jabir.
Okay.
If anyone wants any further information, is your website a good resource for that?
Yeah, you can go to this website, and you can even type in my name in Google, and you'll see my YouTubes. Same methodology used for other functions or business or whatever. So you'll get a good understanding. It's applicable to anything. I mean, I'm applying to religion now. There's no methodology in the world that allows me to do that except this one, because I know many methodologies. That's the power of this thing.
Excellent. Thank you again. And if
All
we
right.
have one final salawat. That concludes our program for tonight. Thank you.